What is up, you guys? Sam Dog, the infamous 253, coming at you guys with Dallas Stewart. Dallas, how you doing?
I'm doing good.
Yep, and obviously Seahawks end the season 7-10, first sub 500 season since the 2011 season. But out of the 7 wins, there are 4 wins that stand out to us the most. So this is our yearly tradition for me and Dallas. Usually when the season comes to an end, if you guys have been on this channel long enough before to know this, so today, like I said, we are doing the top wins of the Seahawks seasons. This year, there were 4 wins that stand up. So this year, we are doing the Seahawks, the top 4 wins of the 2021 Seattle Seahawks seasons as chosen by me and Dallas, our top 4 wins. But we got one honorable mention first, though. The honorable mention will be the Seahawks game on Halloween against the Jacksonville Jaguars, because it's the first time that we won a game with a quarterback not named Russell Wilson since 2011. And that game, how it started out, Jacksonville started out with the ball first, and then Ryan Neal got that big sack, and we forced him to punt. We go downfield, and looked like Jacksonville was going to stop us with all the times that we ran Alex Collins, and then it stopped us to fourth and goal, and then Geno Smith did the Drew Brees jump over the top for the first touchdown. And let's just also say DK Metcalf showed us why Tyler Lockett. Let's just say DK Metcalf showed us why Shaquille Griffin was not worth $40 million for cornerback.
Yeah, he torched him that game.
Yeah, this is the honorable mention game. And then also another big part of that honorable mention game, one of the highlights of that one, other than DK Metcalf's 2 touchdowns torching Shaquille Griffin, showing Jacksonville that he was not worth $40 million, was the onside kick return of Travis Homer, taking it to the house for the touchdown to make it 31-7, the final score of the honorable mention game, which was Seahawks versus Jags on Halloween. Like I said, first time since 2011 that we won a game with a quarterback not named Russell Wilson, which was Geno Smith from the times that he had to start. Hope everything's okay with Geno Smith, because I know I heard about him getting that DUI recently after the last game of the season, so that freaking sucked. But hopefully everything turns out okay, and who knows if he'll be back as our backup next year. But that was cool to see him get that win.
Yeah, it was.
Yep.
And what was his first win as a starter since what year?
Since, I don't know, since he started didn't he start a game for the Giants? I think it was the first time Geno Smith won as a starter since he was playing with the Jets.
Yeah, it might have been. So, yeah, it was a while.
Yeah, it's been a long-ass time. But now, let's get to the main list. The top 4 wins of the 2021 Seahawks season. Number 4, Week 1 of the 2021 season, our win against the Indianapolis Colts in Indianapolis, the Seahawks' first win in Lucas Oil Stadium.
Yeah, that was a great way to start off the season. A great defensive game by the Seahawks. Lockett with 2 touchdowns.
Oh,
Gerald
yeah.
Everett had one, and Metcalf had the one that put the game away.
Yeah, and what was the significance? And then our defense just came out just putting the pressure on Carson Wentz. And I remember Colts fans way before the season started, said that they all thought they were going to win that game. They had a feeling they were going to win. I was not sold on that. The reason I thought the Seahawks were going to win, like, they were calling us underdogs that game. I'm like, yeah, right, we're taking on Carson Wentz. We own Carson Wentz. Because we were going into that game 5-0 all-time against Carson Wentz from his time with Philadelphia, including the playoffs when we beat him in the wild card game when DK went off on him on the Philadelphia Eagles. And then our defense just got back to putting the pressure on Wentz. We got some sacks. We made him turn the ball over on downs. And on offense, like you mentioned, Tyler Lockett, 2 touchdowns, including that over-the-shoulder catch that I mentioned. He made it look easier than Chris Godwin did on the kickoff game against the Buccaneers and the Cowboys. And then that 69-yard bomb, I think that was 69 yards before the end of the first half, when it was like, I think it was 2nd and 20, because we took a sack on a corner blitz or safety blitz, and then Wilson threw that dime to Lockett, and Lockett just torched the Colts secondary for that long.
69-yard bomb. Wait, was it you're talking about the one? Was it in the third quarter?
The one near the end of the first half.
Oh yeah, the one. And to me, near the end of the first half. Yeah,
Yeah.
I remember that one.
Yeah, because Everett had a touchdown before then too, and then we hit Lockett
We
for
went
the second touchdown
scoreless in the third quarter in that game.
until DK Metcalf got the last touchdown. And then I remember Carson had a fumble, and then we stopped the Colts on a quarterback sneak. Then Carson Wentz fumbled it, and DJ Reed recovered it. I remember that too. And how many? I think Rasheem Green had a sack, Benson Mayowa had a sack, and I think that was about. And Darrell Taylor had a good hit on him on fourth down, forcing Wentz to throw that away, which looked like he was going to have him for a sack, but Wentz threw it away, and Darrell Taylor forced the turnovers on down. So that was definitely an awesome win to start out the regular season. And plus we held Jonathan Taylor and Nyheim Hines in check. Their running game didn't do squat against us. Granted, they had a few good runs, but none of their running backs broke 100 yards that game.
Yeah, we shut down their running game.
Yeah. And we made ourselves 6-0 all time against Carson Wentz. So, like I said, the Seahawks still own Carson Wentz.
And we won our third straight season opener.
Yep, second straight on the road when we beat Atlanta the year before that, too. All right.
Yeah.
Win number 3. Week 4 in Santa Clara when we played the San Francisco 49ers, the 28-21 win. That game started out really shitty for us. I mean, our offense, for most of the first half, we were held to -8 total yards, I think it was.
Yeah, I think it was. We really struggled in the first quarter of that game, and I remember Ross Dwelly, I believe it was,
had the touchdown.
Scored their first touchdown.
Yeah.
For the 49ers.
Yep, and then Russell was taking sacks from Nick Bosa I think D4 might have gotten some pressure on him in that game too.
DK Metcalf had our first touchdown right before half to get us our offense sparked a little bit.
Yeah, that was huge to get that touchdown at the half, and then coming out of the second half, freaking San Francisco fumbles the opening kickoff, and then we freaking cashed that in for an insane Freddie Swain touchdown. I remember that Freddie Swain touchdown, and then I think the Niners were later the Niners in the second half, they benched Jimmy Garoppolo. They said Garoppolo got hurt, but I don't buy into that. I think the Niners benched him, and we had to deal with Trey Lance for a little while, and we were just getting after Trey Lance. Jamal Adams shut down George Kittle that game. The reason I remember that game was because of how well Jamal Adams played George Kittle that game.
Yeah.
And then I remember we had one of the other drives that we had going on. Looks like we were going to get stopped, but one of the 49er defenders held Tyler Lockett, which forced a pass interference flag. And I think that was the drive where we cashed that in with the Alex Collins touchdown.
I think it was, yeah.
Yeah, because I remember the touchdowns we scored were DK Metcalf. Before that, Russell Wilson had a rushing touchdown in that game too.
Yeah, I think the fumble was a little bit later in the third quarter.
No, I think the fumble was on a kick. Yeah, because San Francisco. Oh wait, that was after the Russell Wilson touchdown. The Russell Wilson rushing touchdown. Because didn't we also have a field goal that game?
Russell Wilson rushing touchdown tied the game, and then didn't we hit Freddie Swain?
Yeah, we hit Freddie Swain where Nick Bosa was coming after. Wilson pulled that spin move to avoid getting sacked and hit Freddie Swain for a touchdown.
Yeah, I remember that.
And then later
they hit
Deebo Samuel.
But they missed the extra point because Robbie Gould was out that game, and they had to have their punter as their kicker, which
he also missed a field goal too.
Difference in that game.
Yeah, and he also missed a field goal during that game too. I remember back when. I mean, San Francisco, they had all the opportunities they could have done to kill us, but they just left the door open, and we took full advantage and killed them in the end. Granted that they got back in the game with Trey Lance driving them down and getting the touchdown. Granted, we stopped them once on fourth down and got the onside kick and won the game 28-21. So that first win against San Francisco definitely is up there.
Yeah, that was a nice win because we had a mini 2-game losing streak, and it was nice to avoid a 3-game losing streak.
Yeah, because we lost to Tennessee and Minnesota in those 2 weeks exactly. All right. All right, moving on to number 2. Number 2 win of the year. Week 13, Seahawks versus 49ers in Lumen Field, where we completed the sweep. I remember we had the ball first, and we got held to 3. Now, I remember that one guy, Cannon, got injured, and they had to bring the ambulance down on the field, and I was hoping that guy was all right. So they got him to the hospital, and he was moving all right. And then it looked like they held us, and I was thinking, man, come on. It's like, and then the Seahawks pulled a trick that none of us did not ever think was going to happen in that game. So we're held to a punt. Travis Homer gets a direct snap and takes it 73 yards to the house for the touchdown on our first possession. And I was like, oh my gosh. And I remember saying, wait, what the heck? We faked it? I said Travis Homer, and then see the guy down there. I'm like, oh my gosh. I'm like, Travis Homer might take that to the house. I'm like, he might take that for a score. And sure enough, Travis Homer just gone, touchdown, and we took the 7-0 lead. And then, but in that game, Gerald Everett had such a bad game. I remember he got after the fake punt, and then when we had the ball, Gerald Everett got stripped, and then the very next play, Garoppolo hits Kittle for the game-tying touchdown. And I think that was still in the first quarter. So, and they were in the lead for a little bit too. And then how much were they in the lead for in the first half? Because I remember they
didn't they go up? Was it 14-7?
Yeah, I remember they didn't have Fred Warner and Deebo Samuel that game too. But yeah, they were up 14-7, and then later we freaking get down the field. I think did we get held to a field goal, or did we get another touchdown in that game? I was trying to remember who we hit if we hit someone for a touchdown, or got held to a field goal or something. Because I remember that was frustrating because Bobby Wagner had an interception, and then we took that big sack and had some penalties, and then I thought we should never have kicked that long-ass field goal with Jason Myers.
And I remember that set up San Francisco's second touchdown because they had a short field. Yeah, we should have punted them and pinned them deep.
Yeah.
Considering the bad year Myers had.
Yeah, and I remember, I think the second touchdown was Elijah Mitchell scoring that second touchdown in that game. And then we freaking, I remember Kittle had another touchdown, and I was trying to think, who scored another touchdown? Did we get a couple field goals, or did we get another touchdown in that game? Because I'm pretty sure.
I think we might have kicked a couple field goals.
Yeah, it's been a while to look back at that game, because I know Locke.
We might have scored we might have scored a touchdown. Yeah.
Yeah, I think the touchdown was. Oh yeah, that's right. Adrian Peterson scored a touchdown. Adrian Peterson came to Seattle, and we freaking and Adrian Peterson got a touchdown, and then later on, San Francisco got that big George Kittle touchdown, putting them up 23-14.
Yeah, because they missed the extra point, which was critical.
Yeah, because I think we held them to a field goal, and then they got the lead for a little bit, and then I remember Adrian Peterson got the touchdown, and then George.
I remember we got that Carlos Dunlap safety.
Yeah. Oh yeah, that's right. Because then after the Kittle touchdown, then we got the ball.
Went on that drive.
And then we hit Dwayne Eskridge for the touchdown. Dwayne Eskridge scored his first career touchdown.
Because they had like two critical roughing the passer penalties.
Exactly.
On that drive.
I remember that. And
I don't think we had any timeouts left.
Yeah, we didn't. We were doing a hurry-up drill, and San Fran got tagged for 2 roughing the passer penalties, and then Wilson hit D. Eskridge, and Eskridge scored his first career touchdown in the NFL. I remember that because then we made it 21-23, and then second half starts. We kick it off to San Francisco, and Travis Benjamin got stripped and fumbled the ball, and we recovered it. And then Gerald Everett, he could have had a touch. If he didn't take us out the ball, then he could have had a catch a touchdown, but he freaking took us out the ball, and his foot kicked the ball up, and it got intercepted in the red zone. And what the 49ers really should have done, they should have freaking just taken a knee on it in the end zone for a touchback, but that was dumb that they didn't do that because they put him at like the 2-yard line, and then a couple plays later, Dunlap gets that sack on Garoppolo in the end zone for the safety to tie the game, and that was huge. Big time sack, and our defense continued to freaking shut San Francisco out in the second half until we were tied, and then Russell Wilson, we go on that drive, and we hit Tyler Lockett for what would be the game-winning touchdown, and which would put us up 30-23, and then we try to dagger the game to get more points. I remember just wanting to freaking extend the lead, but then freaking we passed the ball to what we should have done instead of going for it on that 4th and short, which I know we converted it. We should have kicked a field goal to go up by 10, to go up 33-23. I was saying we should have at least tried to make it a 10-point game, but instead we get that first down, we go down, we hit Gerald Everett on that 3rd down, and Everett sure enough gets stripped, and the 49ers recover it.
A shuffle pass. Yeah, and he got stripped when we could have iced the game with a field goal. And then they drove down the field, and we Dunlap had the tip.
Yeah, I remember we held
down on what, 4th and goal.
Yeah, I remember that because I was in the stadium with Adam and Fabi, and I remember saying, "God, it's like, all right, either win by 7 or win in overtime or lose in overtime." It's like I do not want this game going to overtime. Sure enough, and Sidney Jones stepped up. I think there was a pass going to either Brandon Ayuk or Jawan Jennings, and Sidney Jones made a big stop on that 3rd down pass from that Garoppolo made, set up the 4th and down, and then like you mentioned, Carlos Dunlap saved the day. Getting in on there and batting the pass that Garoppolo threw, and the ball hit the ground incomplete, and that completed the sweep. And I remember that. That was an awesome night, man. That was just awesome when we completed that sweep, man.
And and we picked San Francisco to get revenge and get a split, and we were glad we got that pick wrong.
I remember that, and then I remember saying Kennedy Moreno's on suicide watch in my live post-game video with Adam inside the stadium. That was just an awesome game, and for how bad our season was and finishing last in the division, all I gotta say is this: at least we still swept the 49ers.
Yeah, because we probably prevented them from winning the NFC West.
Yeah.
By sweeping them.
Yeah, granted they're in the playoffs now, and you'll see what we choose in our game picks when we do the game picks next, though. But yep, that win was awesome. I remember just celebrating it with Adam and celebrating with my buddy Big Dave Eck, and that was a tense finish. And I was glad that we kept our winning streak, that we got our 4th straight win. And I'll tell you what, rewatching the highlights of that, I'm glad we got Kevin Harlan for that game.
Oh yeah, Kevin Harlan and Trent Green were doing that game.
That was awesome hearing their
highlights. The game that got flexed out of the Sunday night slot.
Exactly. All right.
CBS picked it up.
All right. Last but not least, our number 1 win of our disappointing, frustrating 2021 season, the win of the year, the number 1 Seahawks win of 2021 is 2 days ago, Week 18, down in Arizona, the Seahawks versus Cardinals game, the final game of the 2021 season for the Seahawks. Seahawks go down to Arizona, and we get strip sacked on the 2nd play of the game, which they got for a scoop and score. But then the way that we answered that, I was thinking to myself, oh man, it's about to be one of these days. Are we going to get swept by Arizona that badly? I remember thinking, because I know we picked Arizona to win that game in the picks and that too, but we were hoping for the best. But then the resiliency came out. We just came back like not sweating it. We go downfield. Rashad Penny gets a couple of runs, and then Russell Wilson hits Tyler Lockett for that first touchdown. And man, what a beautiful pass that was to Lockett.
Yeah, it was.
And then later it was going a little back and forth. We held Arizona to a field goal in that game. They go up 10-7, and then later we go downfield again. Rashad Penny runs, a couple of big DK Metcalf catches. Colby Parkinson stepped up, had a key 3rd down conversion, which I was hoping he would have gotten a touchdown that game, but just overthrew him in that. And then after we get the 3rd down conversion to Parkinson, Wilson hits Tyler Lockett for the 2nd touchdown and gives us a 14-10 lead. And we were up on them for a little while.
Did we kick a field goal?
Yeah, we kicked a field goal because Gerald Everett, I remember we had a chance to go up 21-10.
We had a chance to go up 21-10 at half, but it was right on the money. He laid it in perfectly, Wilson. It was right off his fingertips.
Yeah, and we had to settle for a field goal after that to be up 17-10 at halftime. And then later on, we get another stop, and then they get a stop, and then Arizona goes downfield, and Kyler Murray hits James Conner on a dump-off pass, just breaking Jordan Brooks' tackle for a touchdown.
Terrible tackling on that play.
Other than that terrible tackle, Jordan Brooks played a hell of a game. He had 20 tackles in that game, and then the Seahawks defense had 5 or 6 sacks. Dunlap got 2 sacks. Poonafore got 2 sacks. Freaking Kerry Hyder got a sack. And, man, I just got to say, man, that was just... I mean, our defense just got after and sacked Midget Murray. Just got after Midget Murray, man. It was just awesome seeing the way our defense... Granted, we knew the season was over, but the way our defense got after Murray, I was happy about that. And Daryl...
Yeah, and we responded after Wilson threw that pick.
Yeah, and James Conner scored a touchdown.
And put them up 24-17, and when we went down and we tied it.
Yep, Wilson hits Freddie Swain wide open. I remember thinking to myself, like, what the hell was Arizona thinking right there? I mean, like, how do you leave Freddie Swain that wide open?
Yeah.
That was just, I mean, and then Wilson hit that pass right on the money. We tie the game, and then later on during that game, we go back out on defense and we get a couple of sacks. I think we got I think it was the first Puna Ford sack and then the Kerry Hyder sack, and then we forced Arizona to punt, and then Andy Lee, props to Travis Homer on that play. He intimidated Andy Lee, and Andy Lee took his eye off the ball, didn't drop the ball, couldn't get the kickoff, and picked it back up. Travis Homer came back in, hits Lee, jars the ball loose, and practice squad receiver who was brought up from the practice squad, Cody Thompson, comes up and recovers the fumble. That was huge. I think that to me changed. That basically flipped the momentum of the game in our favor right there. Was that special teams play?
And did that set up who scored that touchdown?
Was it
Homer?
Russell Wilson.
Oh yeah, Russell Wilson with the 4-yard scamper.
It was third down.
Where he laid out Buda Baker.
That's right, he did. I remember thinking to myself, it's like, are we gonna please let us get a touchdown off of this. I'm like, are we really gonna not get anything off of this? And then all of a sudden, Dwayne Brown had a really good block on Chandler Jones on that play too. And then Russell Wilson takes it, plows through Buda Baker, keeping himself in the air, and sticks the ball across the plane for the touchdown to give us the 31-24 lead. And then later on, our defense holds Arizona goes on another drive, and then we lose Quandre Diggs, but we're able to. And I pray to God that Quandre makes a speedy recovery, because that was sad seeing the way Quandre Diggs went down and getting that air cast and put on the cart. So I hope Quandre Diggs is all right, man. And I remember just saying to myself, like, win this for Quandre. I was like, okay, win for Quandre. Win this for Quandre Diggs. And then we hold Arizona to the field goal, and then we get the ball back, and then Wilson hits Tyler Lockett for a big conversion. I think that was on third down. And then a couple plays later, Rashad Penny, 62-yard touchdown run for the Dagger. Curhan had a great block on that play too, and Colby Parkinson down the field had a good block preventing the defender from stopping Penny, and Penny just turned on the Jets, and he was gone.
Yeah.
I remember you texted me earlier during the game saying Penny with the dagger. I knew there was a lot of time left. And,
yeah, there was still some time left.
Yep, and then Arizona goes down. We hold them to a field. Zach Ertz gets a costly OPI call on him in the red zone, which pushes them back. I thought we were going to decline the penalty and make it fourth down, but we didn't. We just took the penalty, got another stop, held Arizona to a field goal. They did the onside kick. Jordan Brooks recovered it, and Rashad Penny sealed the deal. And Rashad Penny had 190 rushing yards. That was his career best. Rashad Penny's career best. Russell Wilson, 4 touchdowns, including one that he ran in himself, and that Rashad Penny touchdown. And why you ask? Why you ask that game was number 1? Why? Because that game right there stopped the Cardinals from winning the division.
It did, because the 49ers were able to come back from 17-0 down and complete their third straight sweep of the Rams.
Pretty much. And we stopped Arizona from winning the NFC West. So this is why, the significance of that game, that's why this win, the final win of the season of 2021, this is why our win in Week 18 against the Arizona Cardinals is number 1. Hey, Arizona, maybe you would have started Colt McCoy. Maybe you would have had a better chance of winning that game.
Yeah, maybe, but I'm glad they kept their starters in.
Yeah, they kept their starters in, and we spoiled them. They were hungry for the division, and we didn't let them. Like, hey, just because we were going to finish last in the division, that doesn't mean we were going to let you win the division that easily.
Yeah, it was nice to end the season on a high note.
And take away Arizona's momentum going into the playoffs, too.
Yeah.
But, man, other than that, though, why don't you guys drop your top wins of the season down in the comments down below. If you're new to the channel, hit the subscribe button, ring the bell for notifications. Shout out to Luis, the Boston Sports Report, for the awesome thumbnail that'll be going on this video for me and Dallas to do this. And Game picks coming in a little bit, so we'll do our game picks after we get this video up. And Dallas, thank you once again for doing this, man. So, top wins of the year.
Yep, no problem.
All right,
Glad we at least had a few to choose from in a frustrating season.
And the reason why we picked those 4 games, too, one more thing. The reason we picked those 4 games was because those 4 games, we beat 3 teams with winning records. Those 3 teams that we beat, all at the end of the season.
Teams.
Yeah, 2 playoff teams, but 3 teams with winning records. That's why those were our top 4 wins, because those teams had winning records at the end of the season.
Yeah.
All right. Catch y'all when we do the game picks. If you ain't with it, you ain't infamous. And as always, go Seahawks.